Somebody phone Munich. The Koreans are coming. This is the new Kia Stinger. The guys at Kia are rightly proud of this car. And this morning I had a very sudden realization. When they handed me the keys to this, they said, "Have you driven one before?" And I said, "No, I haven't. I'm really looking forward to it." And then I thought, actually, I've never driven any Kia before. Now, Kia is a strange brand. In the UK, I wouldn't really say that they have any particular reputation at all. It's neither especially positive nor negative. I think the most people know of a Kia is that one for a long time was the reasonably priced car in Top Gear's celebrity segment. But they brought this out, and when I first saw pictures of it, I looked at it and I thought, wow, they've just gone all out. And this is a real surprise. Now, when I first saw the car, I thought, it probably looks nice and all that stuff. I bet they've just put a little 2-litre diesel in it or something. Yeah, it's probably just, all show and no trousers. But, oh no, they do offer a diesel in European markets, a 2.2-litre item, I believe. But they also offer 2 petrol engines. The 2-litre turbo, which is producing around 255 horsepower, and that's what I'm supposed to be driving today. And they make this one, the 3.3-litre twin-turbo V6 with 370 horsepower and 370 pound-foot of torque. However, Kia themselves will tell you that this is not a car about hard-edged dynamics or about setting hot lap times or being the most stylish thing in the car park. They say this is a car for enjoying the journey. Now, that would traditionally be the domain of something like a BMW 6 Series or something like a nice big Audi. Now, only yesterday I was driving that Audi RS5 that you may have seen reviewed, and that was an awesome car. So I'm coming into this with very high expectations. And frankly, given the price of this, if by the end of this drive, in about 20 minutes time, I'm still happy with this car, I'd say that's an incredible victory for Kia. Now, first impressions of the car were very positive. From the outside, it looks absolutely stunning. I'm not personally too fond of this grey colour they've got going on here. Most of the other demo cars were in that red that I think you'll have probably seen the car in, and that's more the colour for me. I really like that. Stepping into the car was also a very positive surprise. I'd say in here they're going for an interior approximating the current Mercedes Benz lineup. And yes, it is a facsimile of a German saloon car, but it's not a bad copy at all. The quality of materials is mixed. That's one of the few bad things I can say about the interior. You have a mixture of some very nice and nicely coloured leathers. The switchgear all feels nice and sturdy to hand, and you have this lovely brushed aluminium everywhere. Actually reminds me somewhat of my old Alfa Romeo Brera, in a good way. However, you do also have the odd bit of just flat black leatherish and then some rubber or vinyl or plastic up the top here. And given the fact that's what you look at most of the time, I do feel that kind of lets it down. Given the quality of the materials elsewhere, I feel that maybe a little bit extra attention should have been paid to that. The car is available exclusively with an 8-speed automatic gearbox. In keeping with the car's design ethos, it's not the quickest shifting box, but I'd say it's pretty decent. It's certainly smooth, and you can flip it into manual mode easily. Just use one of the pedals. Where the car really impresses is in its pickup. The throttle response is very good. Turbo lag is minimal. This car apparently will generate peak torque for around 1300 RPM. And that torque figure, 370 pound-foot, that's not bad. This is a big car, around 1800 kilos. and you can feel that, but it rides really, really nicely. You have the obligatory driver mode selection dial down here, and you can choose from Smart, whatever that is, I don't know, Eco, Comfort, Sport, and Sport Plus. Now I must say that the difference in ride quality between Comfort and Sport Plus is one of the most pronounced I've experienced in a car. Driving on the very, very mixed roads that Kia have seen fit to give us as a test route, you really feel the benefit of moving into Sport Plus when you get better roads, and also moving into Comfort really, really helps soften things up. On that front, as a GT car, the car seems to be doing what it's meant to. When it comes to gadgets, this car doesn't appear to be obviously short of them compared to its German rivals either. We have heated and air-conditioned seats in the front, and you have heated seats in the rear also. You have a fully opening sunroof, something that I really, really adore in cars. The Sat-Nav works well. You have a screen up here, which is not where I like to see them, but it is at least a little bit better placed than, say, the Mercedes iPad job that they seem so keen on. Auto folding mirrors. I'm really not feeling like anything's missing from here. Sound system is half decent. I don't like to be the sort of person that loves every car they get in, because I really don't. I was reading through the comments section on my Mercedes CLA 45 video. For those of you who didn't see that video, it was 25 minutes of me laying into the CLA 45. I'm really not a fan of that car. And someone said to me, for the price of that, what would you get? You know, this is not a bad choice, and I cannot believe I did not think I would ever see the day when I would be recommending a Kia of all things, over a Mercedes Benz. But I would be failing in my duty as an automotive journalist, as you will, if I wasn't completely honest about these things. Now yes, something like an Audi or a Mercedes is going to give you a bit more luxury, and at the higher end, a bit more pace, a sportier, more dynamic feel. However, this is not lacking, and for the price you're paying, it's a bargain. It's an absolute bargain. Now this is a genuine four-seater. It might look very coupe-like, but it's got 4 doors, and there's plenty of room in the back. Even with me in my preferred seating position, we put Laurie behind and he had ample legroom. His only criticism was the fact that because my seat sits basically flush with the floor when it's at its lowest position, he didn't have any room to get his dainty little toes under my seat to make himself really comfy. So if you're particularly long-legged and you want to sit in the back, that's maybe a concern. Now the benefit of having that seat so low, of course, is that the driving position is great. The view out is really, really nice, and you could just about see the 2 little vents in the bonnet. It's actually a view that reminds me somewhat of the Nissan GT-R. Another car I can't yet believe I'm drawing a comparison to behind the wheel of a Kia. And one of my other few criticisms of this car really, and this doesn't help coming from an RS5, is the noise. There really, really isn't any. If you stand right behind the car with your ears being cooked by the exhaust, there's a little bit of a pleasant note there, a little bit of that familiar V6 rasp, but otherwise it's very, very quiet. Now, that may be a real positive for you, and you may want a truly soft, pleasant GT experience, and that's what this gives you. It wafts you along nicely. But personally, I like my GT cars to have a little bit more bite. That being said, I'm sure you could easily fix that problem later. The boot is absolutely vast, making this an ideal businessman's express. The steering is nicely weighted, responds quickly and well enough on these little country roads, especially when I'm trying to avoid terrible, terrible potholes. These are gorgeous looking alloys, and I have no intention of returning any of them in any condition other than perfectly round. Now in the UK, all Stinger models are rear-wheel drive. In the US, I believe the V6 is available exclusively with an all-wheel drive setup. But I have no issues today, bearing in mind it's -1 out there with the grip available. The Kia's asking price of around £41,000 on the road may seem steep for something from the Korean brand, but they've really put in the effort to make it worth it. There are a few missteps with the interior quality, and the fact the gearbox can't be kept in manual mode reduces the car's sporting potential somewhat, but as a true GT car, this is a stunning first attempt. To me, this feels like way more car than the Mercedes CLA 45, which costs close to £50,000 once optioned. And that's in the way the car feels and drives. On paper, this car's closest rival really would be something like the BMW 440i Gran Coupe. Now that car's down 50 horsepower, but its lower curb weight makes the performance difference fairly minimal. However, that car starts at over £5,000 more than the Korean, and by the time you've got to an equivalent specification, you're looking at closer to a £10,000 difference. There are basically no options available for the Kia, because as standard the GTS is incredibly well specified. The only real downside I could find was related to the engine. The service interval for Kia's petrol engines is every 6,000 miles. Now every other service is just a simple oil and filter change, but that can still be annoying. They do offer competitively priced service packs, but combined with the relatively poor MPG figures, I can see that company and fleet purchasers might shy away from this otherwise brilliant coupe. And the BMW 440i's official fuel consumption figure is 41, versus the Kia's slightly alarming 28.5. The flip side, however, is Kia's industry-leading 7-year 100,000 mile warranty. Even better, if you buy one less than 18 months old, Kia will top up the warranty to that of a new car. And that shows amazing confidence in their product. I love a German car, I still do, and I always will. But more than that, I love choice. And the Kia isn't just a quirky also ran. This is a real contender.